The basic 3-card spread is an excellent everyday spread and a great one to practice with. You're going to lay your 3 cards on the table from left to right. And remember, you can either pull your cards off the top of the deck or cut your deck into 3 piles and pull 1 card from each. Refer back to the lesson on shuffling cards if you need a refresher. As you lay in this spread, think about what each card is speaking to before you turn it and lay it on the table. The card in the first position represents the past. The second card represents the present. And the third card represents the future. Now, there's a bit more nuance to this spread than just saying, oh, this is what happened then, and this is what's happening now, and this is what will happen in the future. Remember, tarot reading is not fortune telling. It deals with possible outcomes based on the actions the querent takes in accordance with their own free will. So let's add a layer to cards 1, 2, and 3. Think of card 1 as the context for the question, and card 2 as the focus of the question, and card 3 as the possible outcome of the situation based on what action the querent takes. Now, let's use these guidelines to take a look at a sample spread with real cards. For the sake of example, let's say the querent asks, what do I need to know about this new business idea I have? And remember, the querent can either be another person asking you the question or yourself. The querent is whoever is asking the question. As a reader, you'll focus on the question while you shuffle, cut, and lay the cards. So card 1 will represent the past or the context, and we laid the 8 of Wands. Card 2 will represent the present or the focus, and we laid the Queen of Pentacles. And card 3 will be the future or the outcome. For this spread, we pulled the 4 of Swords. So how would you read this spread as it relates to the question, what do I need to know about this new business idea I have? Let's go from left to right and break it down to show you how you would do a reading with the cards that we pulled in our example. So in the past or context position, we have the 8 of Wands. Remember that the suit of Wands represents power, enthusiasm, and ambition. And the 8 of Wands in particular has the keywords of action, speed, movement, and progress. But remember, the goal of this course is not to have you memorize the keywords for all 78 cards, but rather to be able to interpret the symbols on the cards to do your reading. So just look at the wands in this card. They are flying through the air. So that really speaks to the idea of action, speed, movement, and progress. So how would you interpret that in the context of the question, what do I need to know about this new business idea? So I would probably read this as it could mean that in the past, which is where this card is, remember it's in the past or context position, in the past, your default has been to rush into things passionately. This new idea, this new business idea had you excited and you couldn't wait to get started. Next, in the present or focus position, we have the Queen of Pentacles. The suit of Pentacles represents practical matters of wealth and career. And remember, we talked about the Queen of Pentacles in particular in our lesson on the court cards and how she represents nurture, a focus on home, security, and charity. So in the context of a question, what do I need to know about this new business idea I have? I would say to the querent, though this business idea really excited you in the past, remember that 8 of Wands card, where you're at right now in the present has you focusing on financial security. So what's the lesson? Perhaps after the initial excitement and passion about this idea, you feel the need to nurture it a bit further. Then finally, let's look at card 3 in the future or outcome position. I laid the 4 of Swords. Remember that the Swords is a suit of intellect, ideas, and reason. Remember our mnemonic device from the suit of Swords? I'm so sharp, meaning that I use my brain to figure out decisions or reason things out, get ideas. Now, the Four of Swords in particular is about rest, recuperation, retreat, and contemplation. So if you look at the vibe of this card, it's very peaceful, very contemplative. So in the context of this question, I would advise the querent to take a beat, to give this new business idea that they asked about some thought, to pull back from the hubbub of everyday life and to quiet your mind, to really contemplate if or how you should proceed with this idea. So that's a very quick example of how you could read a 3-card spread. And notice how the reading was told like a story with a beginning, middle, and end, and how the entire reading took into consideration the question being asked, which in our example was, what do I need to know about this new business idea, as well as in relation to the cards in the spread on either side of it. So, you know, we didn't just read the Eight of Wands and then just read the Queen of Pentacles and then just read the Four of Swords. They were all relating to each other and they were all part of the overall story. We had to kind of see how they related. So in this example, where the question was, what do I need to know about this new business idea? We started from the left and said, you know, in the past, it kind of seems like your default has been to really rush into ideas. You get really excited about new ideas and you rush headlong and passionately into those ideas. But where you are right now in your life is you have some concerns about maybe financial security. Financial security is important to you. And so going forward, perhaps you need to pull back a little bit and really think this through before you rush into a decision. So see how we used the context of the question that was being asked and the context of the other cards to tell the story from beginning to end. So this 3-card spread is just such a great all-purpose spread. It can be read as often as you like. One of the best ways to enhance your practice is to do regular readings for yourself, and that's going to be your ongoing homework. Carry your cards with you always, and whenever you have a question or decision that comes up, try pulling them out, doing a quick shuffle, centering your mind, and then laying a 3-card spread. It's really good practice. Don't stress out about it. You know, just have fun with it. There is no right or wrong answer, and pretty soon it will get to the point where you're not even thinking about keywords. You're just going to be looking at the images on those pictures and they're going to speak to you. And I'll tell you what, even if when you look at those pictures and you do your reading, even if your reading doesn't relate at all to the traditional keywords, but just that gut feeling you get when you look at the picture, that is the ultimate. That's where you want to get, to be able to intuitively read those cards. So do this on a regular basis. Keep your cards with you. Lay those spreads whenever you have a question come up in your mind, or maybe you have an actual decision to make. And then once you lay your spread, snap a photo of your spread with your phone, then pop the picture into a Word document or a Google Doc and make some notes about your impressions. Make sure you date your readings so you can go back to them later. I love going back to old tarot journal entries, and I'm always shocked by how insightful they turn out to be. Now, in our final lesson, we're going to take a look at one of the most classic tarot spreads, the Celtic Cross.